This is as lazy as it gets when it comes to froyo. And apparently I can turn this cup of yogurt into a froyo with a magic chocolate shell on top. Okay, so this creator adds this whole cup of yogurt into this coconut bowl. Someone said, I thought the bowl was chocolate. But we're not just gonna have plain boring vanilla. She then adds some peanut butter, cocoa powder, and a drizzle of honey, mixes it up. Ooh, it's like a peanut butter cup yogurt. So fluffy. Let me flatten it out for our magic shell. That did the trick. So then for the magic shell, all she does is take a little bit of chocolate chips, add some coconut oil, and then melt it together. This looks like enough. Let me smooth out the chocolate mixture. Ooh, nice and melty. I think we want it kind of runny. Now all that's left to do is to pour it on top of our yogurt, spread it out, and freeze for 30 minutes. Someone said, man said easy. Someone else said, 30 minutes ain't quick. If you guys thought that wasn't lazy enough, keep watching because the recipes get lazier and lazier. Next up, we're making chocolate chip cookie dough, and it's so lazy, we don't even have to bake it. She starts by adding a whole stick of butter into a bowl along with brown sugar and white sugar and then mixes it up. So far, we're following a regular chocolate chip cookie recipe, but now instead of adding an egg, she adds milk, then some vanilla extract and mixes again. Okay, it's got a similar texture. It's kind of loose, but now she adds flour, except it's heat treated flour, which is basically flour that's baked to kill any bacteria and germs. I'll bake mine for like 7 minutes, which basically defeats the whole purpose of like not baking your cookie to begin with. It's still slightly warm, but that's okay. She adds the flour, salt, and of course, chocolate chips. People were saying, I've made a lot of edible cookie dough and this one's the best and currently the easiest. Someone else said, oh my god, I love this recipe. I've been doing it since I was 11. So thanks for making this slick out there. I feel like my flour got kind of clumpy even though I shook it and mixed it halfway through. Maybe I should have used a bigger pan. But the dough is looking a little on the dry side. Okay, the cookie dough is finally all mixed, and then she transfers it into a bowl that makes it look sort of like ice cream, and then we dig in for a scoop. Being a chocolate chip connoisseur, eating it raw like this just feels so wrong, but it could be so right, so let's try it. That was actually so right. I can't believe I'm doing this. 10 out of 10. And now we have 3 levels of the laziest pizzas, starting with level 1, which she calls the sad girl snack pizza. She starts by adding a drizzle of oil into her pan and then lays her tortilla right on top. That's cool, the oil will get the tortilla nice and crispy at the bottom. Then she adds in some marinara sauce, which she says is her little itty bitty recipe for the quickest pizza you'll ever eat. She spreads out her marinara and finally she tops it off with like a nice sprinkle of cheese. Somebody said, I love this itty bitty recipe. Somebody else said, sad girl is hungry watching this at midnight. It doesn't look like she added too much cheese. I gotta make it look sad. But then she covers it up, lets it get all nice and melty. Ooh, the bottom's getting a little bit too crispy. I better take this off. Wow, that does look sad. But everybody in the comments loved it, and one person even said it looks like a taco pizza. Let's slice it up and see how level 1 does. Look at the back crust. Sad girl pizza actually makes me really happy because this is really good. It's like pizza chips. Level 1 gets 9 out of 10. Level 2, we're back with bigger tortillas. Except this one is more like a pizza roll done like a cinnamon roll. Somebody asked, future me, is this good? Well, let me find out and I'll let you know. But she starts by adding, she says ketchup or tomato sauce. People were so mad. Ketchup is not tomato sauce. I mean, it is. Then she adds her shredded cheese, some meat, which I'm just gonna use some pepperoni here. Rolls it up, chops it down into pieces. Okay, now she adds her pizza rolls into a pan. These are not staying. Hopefully I have enough to fill up the pan, but I definitely need to hold this guy together. Phew, okay, decent. But now she sprinkles a lot more cheese on top. Oh my gosh. This is definitely not a sad girl pizza. And then she bakes it up for 10 minutes. While we're waiting for the pizza to cook, I've actually been using my downtime to play a game instead of mindlessly scrolling through TikTok. It's called June's Journey. It's a hidden object mystery game set in the glamorous 1920s where you follow June Parker as she unravels the truth behind her sister's murder and all the tangled secrets of the family. There's different chapters where you can unlock new scenes, and you have to find super detailed objects to get clues to move the story forward. The scenes are like a beautiful vintage painting. You start off easy finding the objects, but they get more challenging the further you go. Not only that, you get to design her estate island between solving the mysteries, and I get to flex my home design skills between all the drama. Okay, I think our pizza is done. That tortilla did not want to stick together, but the cheese just melted into the pizza and it's nice and bubbly gooey. I have to let it cool down for a sec before I try it. But June's Journey is sponsoring this video, so if you want to try it, download it for free by clicking the link in my description box, or you can scan this QR code on screen. It's available on mobile and PC. It is cheesy, and I even have a cheese skirt with it. Okay, I am sold. This is better than those Totino pizza rolls. Level 2 gets 9 out of 10. Level 3 puts in a little more work than the last two, but she says ain't no pizza maker as lazy as me. She starts by adding some flour to our plate, straight onto the plate, not even a mixing bowl. And then she adds some leavening, sugar, and salt. Mixes it together. She just goes in with her hands like a savage. But you know what? This is kind of like I'm making pasta. And then she sprinkles in a little bit of milk to get it going. This is where I'm not sure because it's gonna get a little messy. But she says to add 3 to 4 tablespoons and do it a little bit at a time. I think I need a little more. We try to pick up all the dry pieces from the plate. And then she drizzles some oil, kneads it some more, and then she flattens it out, pokes some holes with a fork, and then she microwaves it for a minute. We're not even changing plates here. We're just gonna microwave it directly in this same plate. This looks like puffy bread. I don't know how I feel about this. But let's build our pizza. Again, tomato sauce, cheese, pepperoni, back in the microwave for 3 minutes. Mine did not end up looking like hers. So she slides hers off the plate onto a cutting board. Someone said, oh my god, yes, thank you. My oven doesn't work, so I always get sad that I don't get to make pizza. Somebody else said, might try this tomorrow, but hold up, don't try it yet because I'm gonna tell you if it's actually good or not. The crust is interesting. It looks a little foamy and a little dry from the side. And much like potatoes, I've never met a pizza I didn't like, but there's a first for everything. It's not bad. If you're gonna go through all that trouble and make like fresh dough, just use a piece of bread. Pizza toast would be way better than this. Level 3 is gonna get a 6 out of 10. Our froyo is ready. The shell has hardened. Let's go for that satisfying crack. Oh. Wow. The froyo is like whippy and fluffy. Never tried peanut butter with froyo before. It actually works. And with the crunchy chocolate shell, it's a perfect topping. Hey, at least now I don't have to get in my car and go to Yogurtland. It's 9 out of 10. Next up, we got some lazy donut holes that supposedly only takes 2 ingredients, except I don't have self-rising flour, so I have to make my own. I have regular flour, and I'm just gonna be adding some salt and baking powder and give it a mix. And now we're down to 2 ingredients. 2 ingredients, that was 6. To a larger bowl, I'm gonna add the self-rising flour and some vanilla Greek yogurt. It has to already be flavored with vanilla, otherwise you're gonna have to add extra vanilla. But you know how Greek yogurt kind of has a tang to it? Somebody said, I made these, took 1 bite, it was sour. I'll be the judge of that. But now with the 2 ingredients, I just have to mix it up real quick until it becomes like a dough ball. I'm quite intrigued with this. It's turning into like a pretty shaggy dough. Problem is it's like uneven. I still have so much dry dough here. Let me dump it out. As I'm kneading it like bread dough, it is starting to get a little bit stickier. So it's hydrating the flour. Let me pick up all the crumbs. Okay, now she divides them into little baby balls. Just gonna roll them up real quick. Now it looks like she adds the dough balls onto parchment paper into the air fryer basket and brushes them with either a little bit of melted butter or egg wash. I'm gonna go with melted butter. And now she pops it into the air fryer for 8 minutes, except everyone was confused in the comments saying it's 180 degrees. You're gonna be waiting a long time for 180 degrees. That's Celsius, it's 350 Fahrenheit. Halfway through, I'm supposed to shake it so it cooks evenly. And back in it goes. Somebody said that looks so good. Could also be a good base for air fryer churros. Girl, that's absolutely genius. Okay, these look good. I don't know if they're donut bites, but we'll go ahead and transfer them to a bowl. She adds more butter on top and then sprinkles them with regular sugar. Let me just give them a nice shake so everything's covered. And a nice drizzle of chocolate sauce. I mean, they look pretty good, but they feel more dense like a golf ball than they do like a light and fluffy donut bite. You see, the thing about donuts and donut bites is that they get that nice fluffiness from the proofing and the rise of the yeast. This is like a hockey puck, and I'm not sure I love it. 3 out of 10. The shortcut was definitely not worth it. Now we're making ice cream with just a watermelon. Apparently all you need is 2 ingredients to make the creamiest watermelon ice cream. But first she starts by cutting her watermelon in half. People in the comments were shocked there was no seeds in her watermelon, and I have a few, but there's such thing called seedless watermelon. And then scooping out all the flesh onto a baking pan. I'm gonna try to get big chunks here. The spoon is just basically my giant watermelon baller. This watermelon is so juicy. I try to pick out the heaviest watermelon. And if I picked out a good one and this watermelon is sweet, you have to subscribe. Sweet like honey. Smash that subscribe button. Finally done. I'm gonna save these watermelon bowls for a little later, but now let's freeze our watermelon chunks until they're nice and solid. Next up, we have the viral Chickle. I saw this recipe a while back and I've always been curious. All you need are some pickles and cheese. I got this one that says half sour and I'm intrigued. Is it better than a normal pickle? There's a lemon slice in here. Are pickles supposed to be sour? I don't know, but I gotta cut them into spears like the video. And while we're at it, let's just try this. I love the crunch, but it needs a little more sour. 6 out of 10. And now she adds a slice of cheese onto her pan, basically making like a cheese skirt here. And I love it when cheese gets all crispy, bubbly. And then she lays down the pickle. Okay, I think I should put it on the end and roll it up because it's kind of hard. Let's roll you up. Oh, I will confirm that rolling soft cheese is not easy. Oh no, the more I flip, the more the cheese just kind of slides off the pickle. Okay, we'll transfer it to a little board. Somebody said, at first I thought it was gross, but then I saw ranch and it was crispy, so I was hungry. And then she proceeds to grate some Parmesan right on top of the hot Chickle. Would you like some Parmesan on your cheese, ma'am? Someone else said, this is so American core. Chickle, cheers. There's something about hot pickle that just doesn't do it for me. I must have did something wrong because my cheese never really crisped up. It's still kind of chewy, foamy. Someone said they used shredded cheese and it failed. And I'm not sure what kind of cheese she used. 5 out of 10. So this one is like the lazy version of the restaurant ramen bowl you get, but not like your typical cup of noodles. So she starts off by cooking off her ramen in some water, and then using the seasoning packets, she adds them to a bowl. First the powder, then the hot sauce packet. She adds the whole thing. Someone in the comments says, it's crazy spicy and I'm Mexican. How can you handle the whole sauce packet? Yeah, that's good. Then she adds an egg yolk and a little bit of Kewpie mayo. And that is the most beautiful egg yolk I ever did see. She mixes it all together until it's a nice paste. I might have needed to use all of that hot sauce packet because this one is very pasty. Now she pours the hot ramen water while mixing the sauce. I think she only adds a little bit, maybe a little more. That looks pretty good. Okay, I'm pretty sure she strains the rest of the liquid and then dumps the noodles into the bowl. Okay, finally she tops it with an egg. I like mine soft boiled. Garnishes it with some green onions, cilantro, and then extra chili sauce. I'm good on that. And finally, some steamed dumplings. Honestly, I'd pay 15 bucks for this. Carbonara ramen, but make it fancy. It's good until the spice kicks in, but somebody said this is the way to do it, finally. Honestly, if I could take the heat, I would say this is pretty solid, but since it's still a little too spicy for me, 7 out of 10. This next one reminds me of our Chickle, except sweet, but it's basically banana inside of an egg roll wrapper that's fried up to a crisp. Okay, so we start by cutting our bananas into strips, and I'm using little baby bananas. They're so cute. I think we're using baby bananas because they're a little firmer. And now I take the egg roll wrappers and then he cuts them in half. They're like giant wonton wrappers. Now he takes a banana spear, puts it in the middle, and then sprinkles the side with a little bit of sugar, then wraps it up. He kind of just leaves the side whole like this, but I'm so tempted to like fold this in. I think I have to seal the edges too. Let's twist the ends so it doesn't fall apart. Okay, now it looks like to the pan he adds a shallow layer of oil. Is that enough oil? And then he just puts all the strips right into the pan. Fried until golden brown. Love how it all just kind of fits into the pan. Since it's a banana inside, I don't have to cook anything. I'm basically just trying to get the wrappers to crisp up. Ooh, this looks good. How come my wrappers have so much more bubbles than his? Ooh, I don't know why, but it's starting to bubble. Maybe the bananas are getting a little too cooked. Oh shoot, some of them are browner than others. Extra crispy. One final touch, he gives it a nice dusting of powdered sugar and a side of dipping caramel sauce. That took me less than 10 minutes to make, and this looks absolutely gourmet. But let's see if it's any good. I left this side on the fryer too long, and honestly it doesn't look half bad. That was just a sweet, crispy edge wrapper, and it was pretty good. But now, let's go bananas. The banana did get a little bit mushy as it was cooking. It's hot, but once it cools down in your mouth, it's slightly sweet, kind of saucy, and just delightful paired with the crunchy wrapper. Might be my favorite so far. 9 out of 10. And now this is a cheesy, crispy rice ball that's supposed to be super easy as well. Okay, we start off with this onigiri mold. We'll add rice to it. Got some fresh hot rice. And then in the middle, gonna stuff it with some cheese. I feel like this could probably be done with leftover rice too. Cover it up with more rice. This is a very popular street snack that you could probably find like at a 7-Eleven in Japan, maybe the Asian market here in America. So even though it takes effort, at least I don't have to go to the store. Pack it nice and firm. Okay, now she crisps up her rice balls. I'll add the rice, crisp it up on each side for maybe like 2 minutes until it looks kind of golden brown. Is this a lazy snack? I don't know, it's been taking a little more effort than I need. My rice ball's coming apart. Cheese is expanding. But now I have to transfer it onto a plate and make our sauce, which is just a little bit of sesame oil, some garlic, gochujang, which is Korean red pepper paste, and it's not too spicy, being foolish. Soy sauce, a little bit of sugar, mix it all around, and then add our rice balls right back in. I think I have to fry this up now in the sauce. To me, this doesn't seem that easy, but someone said I make something similar, but I add shredded chicken to the filling, and it's so good for a quick lunch. As a lunch, it's pretty lazy and easy. As a snack, I'm still on the fence. But somebody else said it's funny because this is technically tteokbokki, but just in a different form. Okay, I think it's ready. Okay, our onigiri has cooled down slightly. Mine is falling apart. I don't know what I did wrong. Let's see how gooey it is inside. That looks so good. Add me a side of kimchi and we're ready to go. It kind of falls apart though. Maybe I didn't make my rice mushy enough. But I have to say, easier than a rice bowl, but had a lot of steps. 6 out of 10. Our watermelon is so hard, I can barely get them apart. Let's go in with the hammer. Okay, I think that helped. Now for our second ingredient, some honey. Will it even close? Okay. I really stuffed it in there. Now let's throw until it becomes nice and sorbet-y. The honey got so cold that it like froze to the lid. Are you sure I shouldn't be adding any liquid to this? I don't know about this. Maybe my chunks were too big. I really feel like I need some water in here. That's as good as it's gonna get. Let's add it to my watermelon bowl. I do think a blender would work much better. This watermelon sorbet gets 7 out of 10. Now this is a quickie brownie cake that she says only takes 2 minutes for breakfast. We'll see about that. But first she starts by adding some kind of blended oats. Oat flour. Don't like oatmeals, just have some oat flour. Then she has some cocoa powder, a little bit of baking powder, some yogurt. It looks like melted chocolate. I'm not really sure how much chocolate we're supposed to add, and somebody else said, I love the part where it says the ingredients. And she makes us go all the way to her Instagram to get the measurements. Just list it here. Some plant milk, and we mix. Someone else said, don't worry, I didn't need the ingredients, I just wanted to watch you make it. And honestly, this seems pretty easy so far, except I'm a little confused because she says this is a 2-minute breakfast, but her direction says to bake it for 20. But now she pours it into a ramekin that she oils. So let me do that. Tops it with some chocolate chips. At least we know it makes 2 servings. And because she says it only takes 2 minutes, I'm gonna put this in the microwave for 2 minutes to see if it gets that satisfying crack like she did. Mine doesn't have that deep brownie look like hers, but hopefully there's a lava center inside. Just smashes it down. Not quite. It's still gooey inside, but let's see if this is any good. It's a little gummy, like overcooked oatmeal. But since I still have this whole serving left, I'm gonna try baking it like she says. Okay, let's see if the baked version's better. Slightly, pretty much the same. I didn't get that goopiness inside, but it's still soft. Still getting that gummy oat texture, but it's slightly better than our 2-minute version. But I'd still say this is a lazy scam and took more work than it needed. 5 out of 10. But if you like this video, go watch me test the most laziest TikTok dessert recipes.